When I was growing up, the devil in the devil's den appeared to me as some hot hot place that was very evil and bad. But Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guest, that was to the contrary when I visited Devil's Den State Park several weeks ago. You know, I first set out thinking that we're going to go to the northwest part of the state and we're going to enjoy some of this fall foliage that we have to enjoy this time of year every year. The beautiful yellows, oranges, and reds that we have to enjoy. But I was greatly surprised, gladly surprised, and find out that it was much, much more enlightenment taking that trip to Devil's Den State Park. For the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you my experiences, or some of my experiences with that trip. Patty and I took off on Saturday afternoon going 40 towards Fayetteville, and we experienced some great beauty, like I mentioned, the colors of fall. We got at 74 and turned down that highway and experienced some great fall foliage. But as we got closer, our excitement grew more, knowing that we were getting closer to this park and to experience what great joy that it brought us both. We got there about 2 o'clock and we jumped out of our vehicle and grabbed our flashlights and we took off down this trail of Devil's Den State Park. We ventured on a few feet and noticed that each landmark was marked with a number. And we continued on, and as we continued on, we stopped for a moment and noticed a 25 to 35 foot incline up a hill. And there were small rocks and larger rocks there that made that way up that incline. It appeared to me, as I looked closer, that these were rock steps that went up to that incline, onto that ledge. But as I looked closer, it appeared that it was just God's nature that had taken place there. And as Patty and I went up this incline, onto this ledge, we got closer and closer to that Devil's Den cave. And we decided at that particular moment, we had our flashlights, we're going to enter into this Devil's Den. So we squeezed through the opening, which is about 2 feet wide, and proceeded a few feet. And downward to the right we had gone a few feet. And as we continued on into this cave, it began to get darker and a little bit cooler. And we continued on a few more feet to the left and upward and down just a little bit further. And each time we had gone, there was different areas in the cave which were smaller, some were larger. And we decided to ourselves at the time, we had our flashlights on, we decided to ourselves at the time to turn the flashlights off and decide how dark it was in this cave. So that's what we did. And I encourage you to close your eyes right now and put your hand before your face. And if you got your hand before your face, if you move your hand back and forth to the left and to the right, you can see the shadow of your hand moving back and forth. But I'm here to tell you that the Devil's Den was totally pitch black. I don't know if you've been there or not, but it was 100% darkness. There was no light whatsoever. So I thought to myself at this time, what happens if my light or our flashlights had totally gone out by some mysterious occasion? How could we get back out of this cave? We've walked several feet. And I thought to myself, that would be very, very bad. And I'm thinking, I would hate that. I've turned to Patty and I said, let's get out of here. So we turned our flashlights on, we turned around and proceeded to leave the cave like we had come in. And of course, our lights did not go out. They stayed on. We made it out. It was just a fantastic experience. As time doesn't allow me to show and share with you many more experiences of the Devil's Den State Park, but that was just one area that we had gone that was just phenomenal. And I encourage you, if you decide to take a trip to Northwest Arkansas, take you and your family to the Devil's Den State Park. Mr. Postman.